This is Julian from UNSW DataSoc, and this is the second video in UNSW DataSoc's automation series. Today we'll be showing you how to write and implement a Python script that checks the price of any sort of stock and notifies you by email if it's hit a certain price. This is just a super simple way to constantly monitor stocks without spending too much time manually checking them. And unlike any sort of existing tools with similar features, this script allows you to monitor as many stocks as you want and gives you more fine-tuned control and the ability to customize the frequency and the contents of the message. So firstly, I'll just be going through how it works, giving a little demo there, going through the code, and lastly, how you can implement and begin using it yourself. So let's get started with a demo then. I've got my terminal open here, and to start the script, I'm going to write Python 3, and then the script is called stockautomation.py. And once I'm running this, the script is at the moment tracking Apple, so I've chosen to track Apple, and if the price is over 100, which I think at the time of recording it's around 130, so since it's over 100, it's going to send me an email. So I'm going to run this, and eventually it'll send me the email once it's finished running. And I'll cut to that once I've received it. And here it is. So this is the email that we're getting. So you can see that we're getting an Apple alert. And it's basically saying that the current price has closed higher than $100. So this is super helpful if you currently have a stock purchased and you're trying to check the price, maybe when you want to sell it, or you're just doing research and maybe you're waiting for Apple to get over $100 and that's sort of your indicator to buy. So now that we've actually given a demo, how does this script actually work? And that's what we'll be going through next. So let's start writing code. So first thing we need to do is going to be importing a few packages. So let's go through each of these packages one at a time. So for this first one, Yahoo Finance, Y Finance, basically lets us get financial data, and that's basically an API to Yahoo Finance, which provides free and close to real-time financial information. And that'll basically help us check the current price of the stock. This next one here, stocks, is an internal package that we're actually going to be building later, and that's the same as this secrets module here that we're importing. So we'll be going through those two later, and then these final three effectively are going to let us actually send the email. Now we'll have a look at the main function. So from a high level point of view, effectively what we're doing is we're looping through each stock we want to monitor, so that's from this stock list here, and then we're calling a helper function which will be explained in more detail, this closing price here, which will get us the previous day's closing price for the stock that we want, so the ticker, stock ticker here. Then next, we're going to check if this previous day's closing price is equal to or greater than our desired price for that stock. So for Apple, the previous day's closing price would have been around 130, and our desired price was 100. So since 130 was greater than our desired price, we're gonna send an alert, which is effectively sending an email to whatever account we want. Let's now take a look at the helper functions, which we glossed over earlier. And starting off with get closing price, if we take a look at the function, we can immediately see that it takes in a string parameter for the ticker and spits out the corresponding closing price here at the end. So what does this function actually do? So we can take a look at an example if we go to our terminal, and we can see that after importing Yahoo Finance, we're getting an example just here is just Apple getting a history of one day and taking the close at index 0, and we get the actual price. Let's say I didn't run this without the index and we're just getting the closing price. Remember, it's returning it as a pandas data frame, so what we get in return is actually something in the form of what pandas returns. So to actually get the price itself, we need to index it. So with that said, we get that and we're returning that to main as the previous day's closing price. Of course, if we run this after the market has closed, we're going to get today's price, but since this is the weekend, you can see that as it's currently recording, it is the weekend, that it was from 2 days ago, so Friday's closing price. Let's now move on to the send alert function. So this is the actual function that is going to be sending the email to whatever email address we want. So let's have a look. So you can see there's a bunch of SSL stuff going on, a bunch of actually logging in, sending the email, setting up the subject and the message. So all of this is not super important, so just this port 465 is a specific SSL port, and here we've got it set up for SMTP for the Yahoo mail server. So why Yahoo specifically? This is just because Yahoo actually allows you to send third-party emails. So Gmail, for example, does not let you send emails from a third party such as a Python script, but Yahoo does. And we'll be showing you how to set that up later and how to get this email password, which is specified in secrets. So you might also notice that the stock here is actually a specific type of class since we're accessing it with whatever company, the desired price, additional metadata for the message. And of course, this can be customizable. You can add any sort of additional data that you want. So that basically sums up the actual send alert function. And next, we'll be moving on to the actual additional Python modules that we've created, such as our stocks. So we've created a new file here called stocks.py, and let's take a look at the code. So the first thing you might notice is this new class called stockdef. So this is basically just containing all the information we want about our stock, so the company name, the actual ticker, and the desired price that we're tracking. So for example, we have our stock list here. We've got Apple, we've got its ticker, and we've got the desired price, which was 100. And effectively, we can add any more stocks that we want. We could add Microsoft, Tesla, any additional stocks that you want to track with this similar format. And the stock automation script will go through each and check if it has exceeded the desired price. So the next part we'll look at is secrets.py, which is a little bit more complicated. So to set up secrets, we're going to need to head over to Yahoo or any other sort of email account that would let you send emails from a third party, such as a Python script. But I just find that Yahoo is the easiest. So you can go and create one if you haven't already, but let's head over there. So once you have your Yahoo account or you've logged in, you can head over to settings and go to the account security section. And if you go down a little bit, you can see here that there's this app password section. You can already see that I've got one set up called Stock Tracker. And if you go to generate and manage app passwords, you can click here to generate a password, and that'll give you what looks like a random string or sort of randomly generated string, and we'll be using that as our password. So let's head over back to VS Code and we'll set up secrets.py. So now we're back at VS Code. We've got a new file called secrets.py, and we've set up two constants, email username and email password. So of course your email username is just whatever your email is, and the email password was that password that we've just generated. So with all that said, you should now be able to run the stock automation script. But to truly automate this script, we're going to want to set up something called a cron job. So this is for Mac and Linux users, and for Windows we can use something called a scheduled task. But for the moment we'll be using cron since we're on Mac. So to do this, let's head over to our terminal, and by typing in crontab -e, we'll open up the crontab file, and that'll let us schedule commands effectively. So the format we can use is the frequency first, and then we're going to you type in the actual command to execute. So first, let's go through the frequency to actually run this command. And to do that, we can head over to a pretty useful site called Crontab Guru. So now that we're at Crontab Guru, we can use this to really easily figure out what sort of frequency we want to run our script, basically. So for example, this one here, this randomly generated one, says at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, we're going to run the script. So this isn't very helpful because on Sunday markets are closed. So what might be something that is useful? So we can use this expression here, which basically says at midnight every day of the week from Tuesday through Saturday, we're going to run our stock automation script. So why Tuesday through Saturday in particular? So for example, if we run this on Monday, so Monday at midnight, that effectively won't do anything because the previous day's close would have been Friday because markets are not open on Sunday. And same as on Saturday, so Saturday midnight is effectively Friday's closing price. So it doesn't actually make sense to run this script on Sunday morning because the markets aren't open on Saturday, and on Monday at midnight because the markets aren't open on Sunday. So now let's go back to our cron job, and we're going to put in our frequency. And finally, we can put in our command. So how this now works is we can put in Python 3, and we're going to put the path to our Python stock automation script. So for the moment, I'll put this in as a placeholder, but in reality, you're going to need to provide the absolute path to your stock automation script. And with that said, that's all we need to automate our script. I'll also put a link to the GitHub repo in the description for those who want to check out the code in detail or want to see some more instructions in the README. So thanks for watching, and definitely keep an eye out for more videos like this from the UNSW Data Science Society. Thanks, and see you next time.